Hello and good morning and welcome to more patch notes, this time for patch 7.16. Patch 7.16 comes out today, the 21st of January 2024, and features the next role quests essentially for this. This is the main reason for this patch. There's also some other changes we'll talk about in these patch notes, but the main attraction is the follow-up. So to actually do this, you need to have completed your melee DPS, your physical range DPS, your magical range DPS, and of course your healer role quests to actually see this one. You'll find it off of the quest NPC Ral Majun in Tulialal, and there's the X and Y coordinates right there, X 12.3, Y 12.6. presumably on the beach next to that bar once again. It looks like there's a series of quests this time around that unlock one after the other, and we do actually get information on a brand new emote as a reward, which is actually shown further down the patch notes we'll look at in a second. So that's the main sort of meat and potatoes of the patch. Additionally, we also have the role master quests, so the ones added in this to New Game Plus. So if you like New Game Plus, that's also been updated. There's also a new orchestrion role added for housing. This is the emote in question then. We don't have anything other than a still image at the moment until later today where the patch goes live and we can do a video on it. It kind of looks like a JoJo pose, I'm not going to lie. This is obviously to do with the Unbound. And I think I remember seeing this on the Lalafell NPC. I forget exactly if it was only on that. But of course, it's very Hildebrand, kind of slapstick, kind of comedy mixed in with the role quest. So it fits in quite perfectly. But an emote is your reward this time around, which is quite interesting actually. Next we go on to the battle system changes, and essentially we talked about this before. It was unspecified how many previously you would be able to exchange, but the Cloud of Darkness Chaotic Alliance raid, you can actually exchange your Cloud Dark Demi-Material wands, which is obviously the currency that you get there for clearing without bonus. Obviously one of those, you need 5 of those essentially to get one of the Cloud Dark Demi-Materia 2s. So that's the exchange rate. 5 ones equals 1 2. So if you're still after the Deus of Darkness, for example, you can get this if you have some of your Demi-Materia 1s lying around. Of course, Demi-Materia 2s conventionally usually only come from doing it with new players, right? You get bonuses depending on how many new players are with you, as well as obviously getting one of those per clear. So a lot of people are going to be able to exchange their Demi-Materia 1s for the 2s at a 5-to-1 ratio. It does mean that the currency, exchange on the market board will go down. Like, the market will probably crash a little bit. So if you're on the fence about doing the content yourself and you perhaps want to get yourself a hairstyle or any of the other tradable items, it might be worth waiting until the patch goes out and seeing where the market goes. It should get crushed quite a bit, so if you're waiting for something to come down in price, you have a good opportunity to get it now. PvP then saw the biggest changes. Of course, the final ending of the PvP season has ended. Not the series, the season has ended. So the ranked season has ended, so your ranked rewards should be available to you in the Wolves Den Pier if you have taken part in any of the ranked PvP. But they're also taking this opportunity to change some things, both with potency. It's mostly potency and damage reductions. So we've got Dark Knight with Eventide. Potency has been increased from 8,000 to 16,000. And 10,000 to 20,000. Doton for Ninja, the reduction to damage taken has been reduced from 25% to 20%, so a little bit of a 5% nerf there to the damage taken reduction. Viper has had its potency increased across the board for 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th generation from 6,000 potency to 8,000, so a 2,000 buff across the board for all of those generations. Machinist Full Metal Field, the potency has been increased from 8,000 to 10,000 potency, with its recast timer reduced also from 32 to 30 seconds. which is interesting. Black Mage Burst, the potency has been increased from 12,000 to 15,000, quite a considerable increase there, and the barrier strength has been increased from a heal potency of 12,000 to 15,000. For Summoner, we have Mountain Buster potency increased from 10,000 to 12,000, which is interesting to see a buff there, and Slipstream, additional effect that increases movement speed by 25% on allies, now also applies to self. So that's a quite nice addition. White Mage then, we've got Glare 3, the text action changes to Glare 4 when under the effect of Sacred Sight has been added. For Seraph Strike, it says the text action changes to Glare 4 upon execution has also been removed. Afflator's Purgation, healing over time potency for Temperance has been reduced from 6,000 to 4,000, so a bit of a nerf there. And Glare 4 potency, however, has been increased from 8,000 to 9,000 potency. We also have Summoned Seraph for Scholar. The recovery via healing actions granted by the effect Seraphic Illumination has been reduced from 20 to 10%. Interesting, so they're trying to make the healers a little bit less healy. Astrologian Microcosmos, HP recovered at the time of execution has been reduced from a cure of 5,000 potency plus 25 of compiled damage to a cure of 4,000 potency plus 20% of compiled damage. So Scholar, Astro and White Mage, significant nerfs there to their heal potencies, but damage increases, right, for White Mage. Then we have the time between actions executed and the effect activation has been shortened for the following PvP actions. So this is what they were talking about, trying to get things a little bit more meaningful, snappy, interactive. So when you press a button, it actually takes less time for that to happen. So this applies to all jobs. Both Purify and Recuperate have been adjusted, so their effect activation has been shortened. But we also have, for Paladin, Shield Smite and Intervene, which is a good call on Intervene. Warrior, Primal Rend, Onslaught, Orogeny, Chaotic Cyclone, Primal Wrath, and Primal Scream. For Dark Knight, that's Impalement and Salted Earth. There's less of a sort of lag on that. Gunbreaker, Fated Circle, Fated Brand, and Terminal Trigger. And then for Monk, we've got Dragon Kick, Demolish, Leaping Oppo, Phantom Rush, Wind's Reply, Rising Phoenix, and Earth's Reply. For Dragoon, we've got that change also to Wormwind Thrust and Sky's Shatter. Ninja, Dokomori, Forked Raiju, and Fleeting Raiju. For Samurai, this is I can't speak. Mainuchi. There we go. Hayosetsu, Mangetsu Oka, Keishi Namakiri, Tendo Setsugeka, Tendu Keishi Zetsugeka, and Zentetsuken. So those have all had that treatment. Reaper, Lemu's Scythe, and Tene Lemurum. These names, man, they're going to get weirder the more mechanics and things are added in the future. Viper, World Swallower, Bard, Silent Nocturne and Repelling Shot, Machinist, Marksman, Spite, Burst for Black Mage, Mountain Buster for Summoner, Vice of Thorns for Red Mage, Clawed Muse and Retribution of the Medine for Picto. We also have Afflatus, Purgation for White Mage, Gravity 2 and Oracle for Astrologian, Sage, Phlegma 3 and Psych. So all of those abilities listed are having their action execution and effect activation has been shortened in PvP. So that should help things feel a little bit more snappy. We'll have to wait and see. Of course, Season 12 has ended of the Ranked and Season 13 begins. So if you want to take part in Season 13, now is the time to get queuing and give it a go, right? And see if you can get some portrait frames and stuff like that. So as you can see here, the physical data center and logical data center, we have ourselves for Japan, it's Elemental. North America is Dynamis. For Europe, it takes place on Light this time instead of Chaos, and Oceanic, obviously, on Materia. So bear that in mind. If you want to do some ranked on Europe, you need to go to Light, and Dynamis for North America, and Elemental for Japan. System changes then, so very small things here. New achievements have been added, presumably for those role quests, and the following text commands have been added, which gives us pretty much the clue of where we get the emote, which is /Pose of the Unbound or /Unbound. So that is much more confirmed to be from that role quest, obviously. New trophies and achievements have been added for the PlayStation and Xbox Series X and S as well. Additionally, there's resolved issues at the end here. It says the following issues has been addressed. There was an issue in the Cloud of Darkness Chaotic wherein the actions lateral core phaser and core lateral phaser were oppositely labeled. I never saw that on any of my clears, but that would be entertaining. It's larboard and starboard all over again, isn't it? An issue with first-time completion duties wherein the following message was erroneously displayed if players new to the duty were present. It says, one or more party members are new to this duty. Upon completion, a bonus may be awarded based on the number of new party members. So that was erroneously being played, I guess. Interesting. An issue that has been fixed with the Dragoon PvP action Wormwood Thrust, wherein using high jump directly after would cause the potency of Wormwood Thrust to decrease. That's an interesting one. That would explain why I've seen some dips when I was playing Dragoon in PvP, where things just feel, especially Wormwood Thrust feels like it's just not hitting as hard. That makes sense then, I guess. There was an issue wherein the graphics for the X-Arc's jacket appeared incorrectly when equipped to certain races. I haven't heard any of this personally, but I'm sure there's always little bugs and visual things, isn't there? Visual glitches when a new outfit comes out, so hopefully that has been addressed fully. There was also an issue with certain gamepads wherein FPS would decrease upon connection, Mac version only. Oh, that sucks. So you could plug your controller in and you would get an FPS drop on a Mac. Do people still play on Mac? I don't know. And also some minor text issues have been addressed. They say other various issues have also been addressed. So usually if they say other issues have been addressed, they don't want to talk about them. They're either very minor or very major, and they don't want to talk about things that might be exploitative. Additionally, at the end, then, we've got this brand new item, which is the Bright Bustle Orchestrion roll. It says music roll for Bright Bustle. So, Bright Bustle, is that the music from the roll quests? I don't know. It does look like we're definitely getting the emote, so it wouldn't surprise me if we get an Orchestrion roll from that as well. All in all, patch 7.16 is a very small patch with minor changes, PvP changes mostly to potency, and obviously those the actions rather, how snappy those will be. I can't wait to actually get into PvP and test that out myself. There is a new season if you want to go take part in the ranked season. And of course, I'm looking forward to unlocking that emote. And hopefully the role quests are good, right? Hopefully we have a good ending to what I have felt so far has been a fairly mid storyline for the role quest. But that's my own personal opinion. Let me know what you're most excited for patch 7.16, if anything. I think a lot of you are probably going to make some money in the game off of trading in your Cloud Dark Demi Materia 1s as a group of 5 for one of your Demi Materia 2s and getting that Deus of Darkness and selling it on the market board, and additionally the hairstyle as well. Anyway, much love. I'll see you all next time, and also for the patch content when it goes live. Bye bye.